Again, I'm Mike Clardy. I'm the Supervisor of Correctional Education Programs here at Donovan Correctional Facility. And many months ago, I was asked by the warden to participate in helping implement this program at this prison. And I was very blessed in doing that because I've got to meet a lot of great people, and some of them are here today from very many different organizations and agencies in San Diego County. And we have all remarked, in fact, I was just talking to people this morning about how this has all come together and how well we've worked together. Now, that doesn't mean that we've had many strong discussions about many different issues. And there's been a lot of frustration at times with CDC and our inability at some point to make decisions and move forward. But they bear with us, and we have moved forward to this point. Right now, as Mr. Uribe talked about this morning, we have 43 people in the pipeline. That's 23 here and 20 at the county jail in George Bailey. And so we are really starting to have this roll out. And we're still fine-tuning it because every day we see a different issue or a different situation that we may have not anticipated. But it is working, and it will work. And we have a lot of fine, dedicated people to do that. And one of the parts of this is the prison case manager. And we have our reentry program here. And the prison case manager is a key function in that part of our picture. And let me just step back here for a second. We all know that we now have the new title with the R at the end, and that's rehabilitation. And I was fortunate the last 2 days to be in Sacramento for a different subject matter, but Secretary Tilton came and spoke to us. And he, again, re-emphasized this R. And he not only re-emphasized it from a conceptual standpoint, but he also talked about the money that's been dedicated to these rehabilitation programs. And one of them is what we're talking about today. So you have people at the highest level, including the governor, involved, the legislative bodies involved with writing bills, supporting bills, providing funding to do these different rehabilitation projects or programs. And this is one of them. So we have a lot of people working together on this. Now, as we have talked about this morning, we have the courts involved, the jail involved, which is including the probation department, obviously the prison, which is the Department of Corrections. Then we have parole and community agencies. So you got a lot of folks working very hard to make this work. If you look up here, there's a brief description of the prison case manager. Obviously, I had the education department. That person works for me. I oversee the program. I oversee that supervision. But I also will have Ms. Van Cleve acting as the prison case manager coordinator under my supervision and supervising the prison case managers. I believe this morning somebody asked how many will there be. There will be 4. Our projected, I should say, population at this point is 260. Because once we get up and running, we're going to have guys coming in, but we're going to have guys going out. Now, down the road, maybe we'll get more, but that's the projection right now. So we're looking at 4 different individuals. We have Mr. Kratz. Bruce Kratz is our prison case manager right now. Ms. Pilar Kadar is in training because as we move forward, we will need additional people. So we'll talk a little bit more about that. I'm not going to go through each one of these slides because it takes a long time to do that, but this is basically a description. It's an academic teacher. We'll use his organization, case management, record keeping, teaching, counseling skills to facilitate and empower each participant. And they talked just a few minutes ago about what's going to keep these guys in the program. Well, that's going to be part of the role of the prison case manager. And each point in this line, you're going to have people encouraging, motivating, and basically selling the program. And I mean that in the most positive way. to these individuals, because you all know how we have these guys who haven't had a good life plan, haven't had that dedication and discipline that they need. So part of our skills at all these levels are to encourage, to motivate these guys to get in the program at Lisa's beginning there stage, and then continue in the program as we move through. And understanding that there will be a prison case manager at the prison to help them once they are at this location. And then obviously we're going to have the parole department and the community case manager here once they reach that place. So you're going to have folks all along sort of guiding, cajoling, encouraging, motivating these people to do the right thing for themselves. And that's the key, to see, for them to see that this is something that's going to help them and their families by keeping them out of prison. Okay? So at this point in time, I'm going to turn it over to Bruce, and he's going to describe a little bit, and if he wants to use the PowerPoint, that would be great. If he doesn't, he probably can just verbally tell you about some of the things that he does on a daily basis involving the inmates, interviewing the inmates, going to George Bailey. Once they get here, he's going to be tracking them, etc. But I'll turn it over to Bruce and let him tell you more about the details. Oh, sorry.
Which one's the advance?
I just hit that.
Good morning, Bruce Krotz, and I am the first prison case manager here at Donovan for the Senate Bill 618. And most of you, you're my colleagues. I work with you, and you know what I do, or a lot of what I do. But I'm just going to walk you through day by day, or not day by day, but generally overall what I do for the program. As was mentioned earlier, when Ms. Rodriguez has a candidate who buys into the program, who says they want to participate in that, again, voluntarily, an email is generated, and I'm on the recipient list for that. So I'll add them to my list of tracking. At a later time, the probation department, Lupe Rabago, who spoke earlier, sets up the multidisciplinary team, the MDT, up at the county jail. We meet on a weekly basis every Thursday morning currently, and we interview the inmate or the prospective inmate. But first, we go through and review their case file. We review for their criminal background, their criminal history, their social background, their family background, education, their work, to get a complete picture of this individual. And then we sit down and look at what programs are here at Donovan to offer, or in the case of the women at CIW, and we develop that life plan that was talked about. And then we go and meet with the individual, and if we have some unanswered questions in reviewing their case factors, we clarify at that point. We see if they have any questions. We explain the life plan, what it is, and how we'd like them to participate in this. It's a dynamic document, can be modified throughout the course of their stay at the jail, at the prison, or once on paroles. So then when the inmate signs that, or the participant signs the contract that Lisa mentioned at their sentencing, within 4 to 5 days they'll report to Donovan. They come into R&R, I'll meet them shortly thereafter, see how things are going, let them know what the expected stay is there at the reception center, and then once they're endorsed to Donovan, and these people with a few exceptions are already planned to be endorsed at Donovan, they'll stay at Donovan during the entire time of their incarceration. That's one of the benefits of the program. Then I'll meet them once they get into the general population. General population being yard 5, the minimum yard, or yard 1, the level 3. Now then I'll track them. And then the question came up several times about, well, what happens if they change their mind? If they change their mind, it's a voluntary program, they can drop out. Are there repercussions? No. The only repercussions are they're going to be treated as a general population inmate with none of the benefits for 618. 618 affords them head-of-the-line privileges for the vocational shops once they're up and running, other programs like SAP. But otherwise, they'll be treated as a general population inmate, subject to relocation as well, if necessary. So, but as long as they are at Donovan, they are still held accountable to the 115. They are held accountable to prison rules and regulations, just like every other inmate. They're not treated any differently. If there's a problem in their behavior or their motivation, like Mike mentioned earlier, hey, I got to get up and give my little motivational talk. Try to cajole them, motivate them, encourage them to stay with the program. Sure, I mean, we backslide sometimes. That happens. We work with them, get them back on track. I have 2 guys out in the 1 yard now. I just talked to them 2 days ago. A little disappointed that they're level 3s as opposed to level 1, but yet I went back today. Lupe Rabago and I went out and talked to them. All of a sudden their mindset, they're adjusting to where they are. They see some of the potentials of the programs that are going to be offered there. They're a little more motivated. It just takes a personal touch with them, that somebody cares about them. Most of you will not have personal contact with these guys, but from time to time you'll run across one. They say, I tell them, wave the flag, I'm 618. Let it be known. So if you do, you'll understand where they're coming from. So I track them through the system. I do a quarterly report, the 128E, CDC 128E, the report card basically that classroom teachers do. Evaluate their progress in the program. Who will I talk to? Well, my own personal observations, and I'll talk to their work supervisor. They also have jobs. These guys are on the work crew, or they'll be in one of the PIA industries or whatever. They have a job to do, so they'll have a supervisor, and I'll get input from the supervisor, and we'll do an evaluation. 6 months prior to parole, I'll contact the community case manager, my counterpart on the outside. Again, non-custody, but somebody who has a vested interest in the success of this person. And we'll work with them. At the life plan, I'll be, if necessary, modifying it. Maybe something's come up in their personal life. Maybe they don't have a place to stay when they get out. Whereas opposed before they thought they were going to stay with a girlfriend or a wife. Now they're divorced. So the girlfriend says, heck with you, okay? Need a place to stay. The community case manager will inform them of these changing factors and let them know so that when they parole, the day they parole, the community case manager will be here to pick them up at the gate, take them and drop them off at their intended housing. 72-hour response, or immediate response time from when they get out. That community case manager is on call to, hey, something's come up. I'm afraid I'm going to get in trouble unless I get out of here. Go down and pick them up. So there's a lot of help for these people. And we want the program to succeed, but we've got to work. We've got to extend ourselves to do that. We've got to provide the resources, both in the prison and in the community, so that we can get this person's life turned around, this individual. What else do I do? Report to my boss. Keep track of things. Constant reporting. This is a high-visit program right now. So we have every week, a little list goes out, who's who, where they are in the pipeline. Like we said, we have 22 at the institution right now. This is the first week we have more here than we have at the jail, 20 at the jail. They're in the pipeline. So they're coming. The program's building. My caseload will build to 60, and then, like Mike said, Pilar's the next one in line. And then she'll build her program, and then on down the road until we get 4 of them and four prison case managers. I like it. I have I'm a personal person. I like to work with the individuals and sort of try to make them feel good about themselves. Some of these guys have not had any successes in their life, so if we can turn that around, they're not any different from most of the inmates we've had in our classrooms in one form or another. So you as teachers, you know how it feels to see those successes for the students. Questions? Keith? The question is, until the VOC programs are up and running, what jobs are available for the inmates? I can't give you a timeline on the vocational programs when they'll be up and running. Right now, they can be assigned to any prison job that they would normally be eligible for. Example, the guys out in the minimum yard are assigned to the outside work crews. They're also assigned to SAP. SAP is available, substance abuse program is available on the 1 and the 5 yards, and they are participating in that, screened and currently participating. The other jobs will be based on their abilities and the needs of the institution.
Hopefully, Keith, I know there are a lot of things going on, and we've had a few setbacks, and I'll be honest about that, but we would hope to have all 4 programs up within 6 months. So, vocational programs I'm talking about. You
had said, Mr. Clardy, about the numbers of inmates in these 4 programs, and doing the math, it looks like 55 inmates per program. Are they going to be double shifted or half-day programs?
Well, no, not all the inmates, because we're looking at the life plan. So based on what their life plan needs are, if a guy has a PhD in something, we probably are not going to put him in a vocational program. It's guys that are expressing interest, or we feel that it'd be a good fit for them. Now, these programs are also going to be open for other general population inmates. So it will be a combination. There will be just 27 in those programs, just like there were in the past. Some will be 618, some will be general population.